I did everything right and they indicted me.
And I don't know what the I'm doing.
Antifa!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Halper Show. We are so thrilled to be here with you today. We have a great lineup for you. We have, as always, we have serious stuff, and as always, we have we try to bring you some humor. And today, we're going to be doing that with actual comedians, which is very exciting. Our second segment will be with comedians who were recently literally deported by Israel on their way to a comedy festival because Israel can't even tolerate humor that criticizes them because they are so thin-skinned. And that's going to be a really great segment. But before we do that, we're going to be talking to Nick Bryant, who is an expert on Epstein. We've had him on before, and he has a new piece about an extended Epstein cover-up, kind of like the latest iteration of an Epstein cover-up. Before we do that, please, though, like the stream, subscribe, become Patreon supporters at patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. Again, that's patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. Or you can become YouTube supporters, YouTube members. And either of those ways, you get bonus content and extended interviews, early release. It's great. If you are agnostic, we do encourage you to do Patreon over YouTube because we get to keep more of the money, basically. What else did I want to say? Brad, if you could, I forgot because we, for various reasons, too boring to get into, just delete that weird thing at the bottom of the description that gives people like a StreamYard. Yeah, okay. You can put in the usual stuff about the Patreon and all that. As always, we will be streaming again on Friday during the day. We do those Friday daytime streams so we can talk with people in different parts of the world. Those are always great. We'll talk to people in Europe, in Iran, North Africa. So without further ado, though, I'm going to bring on our first guest. I'm very excited to be bringing him back on to the show. His name is Nick Bryant. He's a journalist, author, and activist. He published Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book in 2015 and is the founder of Epstein Justice. He's also the author of The Franklin Scandal, A Story of Power Brokers, Child Abuse, and Betrayal, and The Truth About Watergate, A Tale of Extraordinary Lies and Liars. So welcome back to the show, Nick.
Great to be with you, Katie.
Yes, thank you so much for joining. It's been a while. It's been a few months at least since we covered anything related to Epstein on the show or had you on. We had you on to go over one of the more like recent tranches that were released. But what do you need to tell us before we get into this most recent story that you did? What else do you think you need to update people on in terms of the Epstein files, the latest in the Epstein files, any news related to the survivors, the Trump administration's handling of it?
What we're seeing now, we know that the Trump administration isn't going to indict any of the perpetrators, but we have the oversight committee running around to different parts of the country, interviewing co-conspirators who are lying to them with impunity. I'll give an example. Les Wexner, before the oversight committee, and it was kind of strange that the oversight committee went to Columbus, Ohio, instead of subpoenaing him and having him come to Washington, D.C. But he said that the last time he talked to Jeffrey Epstein was in 2006, when actually there are emails from 2008. And Les Wexner gave Jeffrey Epstein gave Les Wexner $56 million in 2011. Now, I don't care how rich you are, you're not going to forget about $56 million. So there's been a lot of perjury before the oversight committee, and that's a crime. That's a felony punishable by up to 5 years. And as I said earlier, we know that the Trump administration isn't going to indict anybody. But what the Democrats can do is put in referrals for indictments and at least put it on record that this person perjured themselves before Congress, and we're putting it on record. But they're not even doing that. So I kind of look at it as a dog and pony show. And the thing about the Epstein cover-up, it started with Bush 2, the cognitively challenged Bush, and then it went to Obama, and then it went to Trump, and then Biden, and then now it's Trump. So it's been two presidential administrations that were Republican and two presidential administrations that were Democrat. So the Epstein cover-up is a bipartisan effort, and the Democrats are showing us that.
And can you talk a little bit about how what the cover-up was like under the different presidents? Was there a difference? Was it basically the same?
Well, actually, Trump has given us more transparency than anybody. Bush, too, just slammed the door on it. It was like a Pandora's box. And Bush 1 made the Pandora's box. Obama didn't want to open the Pandora's box because if you open up Pandora's box, then the curse comes out. And Trump didn't open Pandora's box, and Biden didn't open Pandora's box, but a big Trump's MAGA base, a lot of them held him to his promise that he was going to release Epstein files. So I think Trump thought he could crack open Pandora's box ever so slightly and then shut the door. But Epstein is Pandora's box, and he's let out the curse.
Right. Yeah, it seems like, Trump is the only one who really, he's the only one who really promised to do anything about it, right?
Yes.
But it's one of the promises that, he promises a lot of things and then he often doesn't deliver. This one, he seems to have somewhat delivered, but also somewhat, not surprisingly, not delivered. Can you just go over a little bit the ways that he has revealed certain things, but the way that he has stopped things from being revealed?
I think that there's been 3 quantum leaps in our understanding of Jeffrey Epstein. I put the Black Book and the flight logs up on the internet in 2015. And then the Miami Herald came out with a series of articles called Perversion of Justice in 2018. Those were our 2 quantum leaps in the understanding of Jeffrey Epstein. And now this tranche of documents that Trump has released is the next quantum leap. And what that tranche shows, well, it certainly shows that all these billionaires who said that they had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein were lying. And a lot of other people who said they had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein were lying. And what I find particularly, for years, I've known various Epstein victims. And I've been researching about child trafficking for about 24 years. And I've gotten to know, in addition to Epstein victims, I've gotten to know psychologists that work with survivors of abuse, sexual abuse. And I was told by 2 therapists, and one's really an eminent psychologist, that they were working with Epstein victims who were trafficked when they were under the age of 10. And actually, one of the young women now provided a lot of details about the interior of Jeffrey Epstein's home. And the psychologist firmly believes her. And I've gotten to know various Epstein victims, and some of these guys were very sadistic to these little girls. It's hard to believe. Epstein served these little girls on a platter to these guys, and some of them were very sadistic. So I've been saying that we're dealing with sadistic pedophiles, and that some of these girls were definitely under the age of 12, if not 10. And the tranche has really corroborated what I've said. There's a lot of talk about torture in the Epstein tranche, and then people are sending Epstein JPEGs, one's of a 10-year-old and one's of an 11-year-old. So this thing is really nefarious, and I've always known it was nefarious. I started investigating it in 2011, but the tranche of documents has corroborated the things that I've said, and that I've taken heat for, but I'm corroborated at this point.
So let's talk a little bit about your latest article. You ask, are the Epstein survivors being exploited yet again? What are the answers that you found to the question that your article poses?
Well, there's an organization called World Without Exploitation, and it has a number of Epstein survivors, and it's worked with a number of Epstein survivors. And actually, from what I've been told from Epstein survivors, that the people running that organization are actually choosing who speaks to Congress and who doesn't. So although the Epstein survivors should be their own gatekeepers, World Without Exploitation seems to be a gatekeeper. And I just had a bad feeling about it. And as an investigative journalist, I've been doing investigative journalism since 1995. usually my hunches or intuition, they're right. And so I started digging into World Without Exploitation, and it was one of the founders was Lauren Hirsch, and she was an assistant DA in Brooklyn and in charge of sex crimes. And she left the job. She was brought up before an ethics panel because there was evidence that she was suppressing evidence in a case and had put some innocent people in jail. And it revolved around a young woman who went to the police and said she'd been raped. And then shortly thereafter, she recanted her allegations, although I do believe that many of her allegations were true. And that recantation was suppressed. And Lauren Hirsch oversaw a grand jury. She's a special prosecutor of a grand jury that went after the 4 guys and ended up going to jail, even though the girl had essentially recanted what she'd said. And grand juries are very easy to twist for special prosecutors. Special prosecutor is chosen, and he or she deems the evidence that the grand jurors are going to look at and calls the witnesses. And grand jurors are just people that have shown up for jury duty, right, and they've been found to. And like the Epstein grand jury found that there was no abuse whatsoever by Jeffrey Epstein down in Florida. And in this case, these guys were indicted on multiple counts. And one of the special prosecutors in the Brooklyn office, or one of the prosecutors in the Brooklyn office, really felt that this case was flimsy. And she wanted nothing to do with it. And actually, she gave an interview to, I believe it was either the Post or Daily News, talking about how she was not confident in the case and that Lauren Hirsch kept pressing her. And then there was a second assistant district attorney that came on board, and then she found the recantation. Right. And she gave it to the defense. And ultimately, all those charges were dismissed. And I do believe that young woman that came forward had been molested by some of those guys. I really do believe that. But
it's still misconduct to not reveal, yes, to not communicate that someone had recanted.
Yes. So I think that there possibly could have been a chance for that victim to get justice, but by the way it was handled, she'll never get justice.
I see. So ironically, you're saying because they were sloppy and actually probably were not scrupulous in their perhaps enthusiasm to get a conviction or something, they wound up actually harming, and this does happen, harming the case and harming the victim, the survivor. Yeah.
Yes. And the city of New York paid substantial sums to 2 of the people that had been, for a better word, wrongfully incarcerated.
And that's a big deal because it's not like our justice system is so good at that. Like recognize when prosecutors engage in misconduct. It takes a lot. So yeah, but that's a pretty clear cut, like Brady violation, right? To not hand over potentially exonerating evidence. So.
And one of the defendants settled for $750,000, and then I couldn't find out how much the other defendant settled for. One of those guys, though, and like I said, I don't think that woman's allegations were without merit because one of them did get busted trafficking girls, and so I think that was part of the mix there. It's just the way that the case was handled was very slipshod and corrupt.
Right. Okay, so then talk to us about you looked into this World Without Exploitation, and you also came across Reid Hoffman and his relationship to this organization. Tell us about who Reid Hoffman is and what his relationship is to this and why he matters. That was great. And now we are talking to some other great guests. We're so excited to be bringing them on. Just do want to remind people, if you haven't already liked the stream, please do give it a thumbs up. That's a really easy, free way to support the show, get the word out to other people. More people will come by. We've been facing some, surprise, algorithmic suppression. And so that is why we are asking for your thumbs up. It's not in seeking validation or fear of rejection. It really is to make sure that more people see the great guests that we are bringing on tonight and every week. So give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe. Also become Patreon supporters at patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show, or become YouTube members, and you get amazing content. Like you got early access to this really great interview that we did with Yanis Varoufakis and John Mearsheimer, which people really loved. And we'll be giving you more of those early access interviews. So you can also support the show, by the way, if you can't afford the $5 a month, which gets you access to extra interviews, bonus interviews, early interviews, but you still want to be part of the Katie Halper Show support group. You can become a Patreon supporter for $1 a month. That's literally $12 a year. And that just lets you, sleep well at night, knowing that you're part of the show and you're supporting the show and helping it happen and amplifying the voices of the great guests that we bring on, including 4 comedians who we're going to be bringing on right now. Let me just introduce them to you. We have joining us Lana, a Palestinian-American comedian based in Los Angeles. Bilal Sharmoug, a Palestinian-American actor, comedian, and digital creator. Ahmed Al-Qadri, a Yemeni-American comedian based in Los Angeles. And Dana Alexander, who is a comedian based in Canada. And she is toured all around the world. She's from Canada. She's now based in the UK. Okay, so we are going to bring on these comedians right now. Welcome to the Katie Halper Show.
Hello.
Hi. Thanks so much for joining.
Good to be here, Katie. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, thanks. That's great to hear. Thank you. Well, I'm very excited to have you guys on to bring some much-needed levity, although it's obviously also a very serious topic because we are talking about Israel, which is obviously engaging in apartheid and genocide as we speak, but also a lot of freedom of speech violations and also kind of like weaponizing immigration. They're engaging in freedom of movement violations. So just set up for us, maybe Lana, because you were the one who reached out to me. Why don't you set up for us what happened more or less, and then we'll talk to each of you about your experiences.
Sure, Katie. Yeah, we were asked to participate in the 1001 Laughs Palestine Comedy Festival between the dates of August 10th to August 15th, and of course to travel to Palestine and the West Bank to do these 9 performances. We did receive electronic visas approved in hand from the Israeli government before we traveled. And at some point between leaving and landing, some of our visas were invalidated. But long story short, 6 of us were denied entry and deported at the airport and not able to perform in the festival. I think 1 comedian did make it through, but 6 of us were sent back after going through interrogations and after being detained overnight. Bilal and I were dumped in Seattle instead of back to LA. But ultimately, that was just kind of the gist of the experience. And then we proceeded to perform via Zoom. For the performances that were available. We performed for Ramallah and we performed for Bethlehem for the final show. So we're glad we were able to perform for our people still, but yes, that's what happened.
And whoever wants to jump in next.
Yeah. Also, too.
And by the way, because of the quality, I think, Brad, is this a good idea that I leave the stage so that it's just the 4 of them and they have better quality and it's more centered? I'll be here.
Sure. And just if I'm coming on to say anything too, Lana, if you wouldn't mind just offsetting yourself from the mic so that the air doesn't create those harsh P's and B's, the plosives into your mic. Yeah. Thank you.
What other shows gives you this kind of insight into how to use a mic? Right? Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
All right. I'm gonna move myself, but I'll be listening. This is just so that you guys have better bandwidth and stuff. Okay, great.
Well, so obviously throughout this whole process too, they told us that we aren't allowed to come back unless we get specific approval from the Israeli embassy. Now, I'm the only one who's born there, so I was born there, so I'm no longer allowed back in the country I was born in, which is pretty crazy if you ask me. It's a unreal feeling. I never thought that I would get kicked out. I mean, I guess shouldn't be a surprise, but yeah, pretty wild.
Wow. And so I'm going to ask each of you about your experiences, but I want to actually ask what your relationship to this country is, this country that they say, Palestine, right? So whether it's Palestine or where your families are from, and how in this view this relates to what is happening right now. So Bilal, I'll give it back to you and then we'll go around. Okay.
Yeah. So, I was born in Palestine. I was the only one out of my brothers. My parents were both, American citizens at the time, but we were all living in Palestine. And I was born in the West Bank in a village called DEPORTED. I lived there until I was like 3 or 4 years old, immigrated to the United States, but I always kept a strong tie to it. I would visit it every other summer and did so for many years. And then 4 years ago, I was able to do this festival and it went off. It was great. In 2022, we did this festival and that was the last time I was back. So, my family's all there. I got a lot of family there. Got a lot of people I love there. So my family's always been there as far back as you could trace our family history. And so, very deep ties to the land. Very.
Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. So how did you find out that you were now not going to be allowed back to where you're from?
Yeah, just the agent came out to, I call it the VIP room that they put you in when they interrogate you. And he came out very nonchalantly. He says, yep, my supervisor has informed me that we're not going to let you guys into the country. And if you would like to come back at any time, you're going to have to get approval from the embassy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Really sorry. I mean, that sounds like such an understatement, but that's so horrible. And had you been back and forth before visiting your family?
Yeah, it's actually crazy. He asked me, he's like, when I was getting my VIP interrogation there, one of the questions he asked me in the hour-long questions, interrogation that I went through, one of the questions was, how many times have you been here? I was like, I don't know, man, like 3 or 4 times, in the past couple of years. He was like, it's actually 5.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, why are you asking me? If you're dude?
Right. They're trying to catch you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they know what you're doing. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I regularly go back. It's my favorite place on earth. I grew up in America, but being there just feels like home because it's where I was born.
Right.
So it's still like settling in. It's a surreal feeling not being able to because I know they ain't letting me in at the embassy. What the hell they gonna let me in for?
Right. Yeah. Lana, do you just want to add in your family? Because I didn't ask you that. And then we'll go to Dana and then Ahmed. We can just go in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in America, but my family was born in Palestine, and I have family in Palestine. And I did get to go there once or twice in the 90s, which of course they asked me, and very different time. But yeah, they no longer live there. I still have some in areas of West Bank, but the plan was for the festival.
Right. Wow. And what about you, Dana? Tell us about your experience.
Oh gosh. Ugh. So I was doing all my deleting of apps and disabling, and I deleted my Facebook, and she took my phone off me. I was in the VIP waiting for about 45 minutes, which was,
short
compared to the Palestinian family across from me. They had been there almost 7 hours. So yeah, she reactivated my phone, and she saw my posts, and they were pro-Palestinian. She was so upset. Like, she saw a little girl, George Galloway's daughter, with a Palestinian flag. She's like, what is this? Oh Lord. She asked me how my parents met. She asked me who Hamas is. She asked me what happened on October 7th. What was it, a genocide? And then the other guy, oh Lord, he told me it's a democracy. I shouldn't listen. He's like, why do you think it's a genocide? I'm like, well, I've never been here. But that's what B'Tselem says, your own human rights group. So, and the UN as well. So what do we think? And
Well,
he's,
they'd
yeah,
say, oh,
he
the
gave me a,
UN is anti-Semitic, right? That's what they love to say. It's a little
Yeah.
harder with B'Tselem. I guess B'Tselem is a bunch of self-loathing Jews, is what they would say, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And then it was off to the disgusting detention center for 24 hours for me. They got off a little early. They got there later and got to go a little earlier.
Wow. And what was that like?
Oh God, there's this just, you could tell they're talking about you because they hear your name and your nationality and your job, and they're just kind of at first I couldn't even sit on the couches. They were just so disgusting. I was just sitting on the arms, and she asked me if I wanted a sandwich. The other guy, he already offered me a terrible sandwich, so I was kind of afraid to eat because everything was all scuzzy in there, and it just felt like they were always trying to like play little games, like you
Right.
sit under the air conditioner, they see you're cold, so they turn it up.
Yeah.
You know, just like little things, you know, you go to sleep, so they'll turn the lights on or turn the TV volume on, even though it's been off all day, you know, and you're meant to be sleeping, or start shouting on their speakerphone, speaking about you in English so I could understand this time. And I just ignored it because I'm like, just let the clock tick down. But it was full. After they left, another 15 people came.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Ahmed?
So basically, when I was in the interrogation room, at one point he was like, this Palestine Comedy Festival, it's anti-Israel. I was like, it's not anti-Israel. I was like, we're just doing comedy shows. And he was like, oh, well, you know, you guys do Israel-Palestine conflict. Y'all do Israel jokes. And I'm like, I do poo-poo and pee-pee jokes. Like I don't do any of that stuff, you know? And, you know, a lot of it, what I've learned is just, or what I've realized was just like psychological warfare. Cause at one point he'd be like, you're lying, you know? And I'd be like, you're lying. You know, like the thing is, it's like, I don't think he understood that us four are very persistent and annoying. So it took a lot. They never broke us. Or I guess they tried to like install fear in us, but we really didn't. Cause like at the end of the day, we didn't do anything wrong. I'm here to do comedy. At one point he was like, why are you here to do comedy? And I'm like, I get to go to Palestine and do comedy for Palestinians. That's awesome. You know? And there were a few moments where he was just like, like all these jokes and things about Israel. He just goes, it's not fair. It's not fair. Obviously, I'm not trying to argue with him. I was just being diplomatic. And I was just like, I didn't tell him, hey, have you guys considered what y'all been doing for the past, I didn't say that, but I was just like,
My God, it's not fair.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You're valid. I'm
Yeah.
like a therapist that's zoned out. Your feelings are valid. Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, it was just that. It was like a lot of it was the whole time. I'm like, oh, this is psychological warfare. Like they're trying to break you down. They're trying to make you scared. They're trying to make you like feel to the fact you're like, I'm never coming back here. I never want to go here. I don't feel welcomed here, but it's not, I don't think it worked, as you can tell, like us four are like, oh, we're definitely going to try to come back. I definitely want to come back to Palestine, inshallah. So
Another thing too, I was going to say a common theme with all of our interrogations here was that the interrogation officer he told me, he was like, you're going to go do shows in Ramallah. As a Jew, I can't go to Ramallah. I can't even think about it.
Oh my
And
God.
I was like, oh, wow. So like, even when you're an IDF soldier, you can't go to,
Right.
And I was just like, oh, wow. Yeah. And then he was like, everybody says Israel's doing apartheid. That's the real apartheid. He said those words exactly.
God.
That's the real apartheid.
He should do stand up, by the way.
as he was literally denying us entry.
As he, an Ethiopian Jew who immigrated to that country, was denying the entry of a guy who was born in that country entry.
Wow.
And he said it to all of us.
Said it to all of us.
He made sure to say it to all of us. And one of the things that I thought was interesting was I was the last person to be interrogated. And he started off by telling me, you're not, he's just said, we're just going to cut this short. You're being denied entry, before asking me anything. And at some point, as he kind of starts, like it sets in, I think I started to get tired and a little emotional, and I could feel the beginning of like a tear in the corner of my eye. And he sort of like jumped up on the desk and said, "Are you disappointed?" And I was like, about what? He goes, "That you're not going to have your comedy festival." And I said, I actually perform all over, you know, this will be fine. But ultimately, like, I am disappointed that you guys think it's normal that we did nothing and we flew here 20 whatever hours of travel. I'm a tall woman. You expect us to sleep on some floor in the airport or something while you send us back another 20 hours. Like, I'm disappointed that you think that's normal. And that was just kind of like, you know, he wanted to keep saying, "You're going to make jokes about the Israel-Palestine conflict." I said, "Sir, I do dick jokes. I'm not really like, you know, you think we're all just here to like talk for 10 minutes about genocide? That's not how comedy works." So we just all like, you know, by that point, because I knew I wasn't getting in, I just figured like, let me say some things. But I'm not going to lie, it took every ounce of self-restraint to not just answer every question with Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. So we were like, you know, locked in. And the detention, they were very, you could tell they had no procedures in the detention for certain things. Like they definitely took all our things and our phones and stuff like that. No watches, Apple Watches, stuff. But like there were certain scenarios that I was like, "Hey, I have my pajamas. Can I change?" And they're like, "Okay, but you have to like change in front of this guard." So then I'm in a room changing in front of the guard, who's a female, of course, who then starts yelling at me that I can't wear shorts.
Wow.
In detention. And I'm like, "I thought you guys told us that if we go to Palestine, we couldn't wear this stuff, but you guys are the ones that have the problem, clearly, you know?" So it was definitely a weird experience, just kind of understanding their rationale for things.
Right. That's really scary. Well, speaking of comedy, I wanted to show some of your guys' comedy. So we have some clips. Let's see. We have a clip. I believe this is you, Ahmed, and Bilal in a video together. You want to set this up?
Yeah. Me and Bilal, we have a series where basically we would dress up as like, you know, Arab dads. And well, basically the series started of me being like the Arab father, but I thought, well, it would be really funny if there was just like some random Arab uncle that was just there the whole time saying the most heinous things. So it all started with us just, you know, introducing to like certain friends of ethnicities and stuff. So it's like a fun city. For this video particularly, is just like we did a reverse script of just like if Arab people spoke to white people the way white people talk to brown people. And it was a fun little video that we low-key improvised with our friend. Shout out to Brian Supan, awesome comedian. Brian Snacks, follow him. But yeah, this is just a silly video that we've made.
Awesome.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to call you Ibrahim. It's just easier.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, you look like Tom Cruise. You know him?
Yeah, I know Tom Cruise. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, do you mind if I touch your hair?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Wow, mashallah, so thin.
Is it your skin? Is it always peeling?
I mean, acne cream and stuff. Yeah.
Do you condemn the KKK?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, I don't like those guys at all.
Yeah, good.
We don't like them. Yeah.
Why wet dog? Why not dry dog?
How many gun do you own?
I don't like guns. I don't own any. No.
You know, we hear you guys like Jesus too.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Hell yeah.
Yeah. How much you spend on sunscreen a year?
I don't know, like $400.
Ballpark.
400.
Allah. $400.
Yeah.
SubhanAllah. Zakah.
Why is your food taste like shit?
Yeah.
I mean, I like fried chicken. I don't know.
But that's not your food. That's not your food. Not the black people food. That's your food. Your food, يعني boiled peas.
Boiled peas, yeah. No, those are good.
Yeah, and cabbage on a pigeon's head.
Oh yeah, no. Well, with mayonnaise, they're not bad. You know. You ever had mayonnaise? No.
Shout out to Bilal, bro.
Very good. So yeah, that's the kind of dangerous, I guess, comedy they want to make sure doesn't get in there. We also have a clip of you, Lana. So this, and then Dana has sent us also something that I forwarded to you. So let's take a look at this clip of you, Lana. Anything you want to say to introduce it?
No, this is just, a little bit of Arab American comedy.
What you would call a liquor store Arab. We are native to the United States. Mostly we're just known for selling loose cigarettes and lottery tickets and our parents praying 5 times in the back of the store. But growing up working in the liquor store, I learned at a very young age that I would not make it in a life of crime. Like, I just knew I didn't have what it takes to make it in prison. Plus, I'm already Muslim, so I'd have nothing to convert to when I get there. I am one of 10 children because my dad wanted free labor that couldn't unionize against him. But then 5 of us were girls and our periods synced up, and I think we won. I think we did it, guys.
Okay, also very hilarious. And then Brad, do you have the Dana video? Okay, great. Dana, anything you want to say about this one before we watch it? Which one is this? It's the one that you forwarded me, and you're muted. Sorry, 1 second.
Is it the one from the festival?
It's one that you sent me, and then
okay.
Sorry, we'll throw it up on screen. Then you'll be able to figure out which one it is, and then you can tell us if there's anything you want to tell us. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, so this is
yeah,
all right.
So that a really quick clip from the festival that the organizer Ahmed sent to me. So yeah, just a little bit of it wasn't on topic. These are just it caught me in the middle of it. Yeah.
And these, by the way, so this is what was played, and we're going to play some more clips from the actual of you guys participating. But this is what had to happen. You couldn't, for technical reasons, actually participate when other people did, right, Dana? So you had to.
Yeah, I was trying to get on, and it was just a nightmare.
Yeah. So you guys, the 3 of you, were able to remotely participate, and then you were able to like send stuff not live. Is that what happened, Dana?
No, I did 2 other dates.
Oh, this is from. Okay.
Bethlehem, yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at this. Great.
On your back now. It's like. The craziest part was the Nigerian, like, yeah, I want to go on a date with you. I was just like, oh, when, what time? Oh my gosh.
Wow. Okay. So all of these things are too dangerous for Israel to be able to handle. And then Ahmed, you posted some, you did a nice Instagram post where you talked about the festival, and then that also has some nice clips of you guys actually remotely performing. So let's take a look at this carousel, I believe the kids call it.
Yeah. Basically, it's just me talking about how I was in India, and then because I look Indian, my friends were like, "Hey, because there's an Indian line for like 50 rupees, and then like there's a tourist prices for like 950 Indian rupees." So my friends were like, "Hey, go to the Indian line," and then I just have a bit of when I was at the Indian line after they spoke to me in Hindi. Go ahead.
And sorry, Katie, do you want me to play some of the video? Do you want me to play some of the videos in here?
Well,
or do you want to...
I guess go to that video first, and then we can scroll through the other stuff that he's talking about.
Okay. So just let me know if this isn't correct. If we have a few of them.
Oh, no need to play the. I also sent the part 1 video of getting detained. We don't need to play that. That one's not funny, but you can check out my Instagram at Ahmed Loves Bread. I do a 4-part series detailing like what happened to us in Israel. But yeah, you could play the carousel of me.
Yeah.
The one for Bethlehem.
Where he's going like, I don't want to give it away, but there's some.
Yeah. The head movement one. Yeah.
Stand, I panicked. I just.
Is it this one?
Yes. Right?
Okay.
You want to rewind it all the way?
Said something to me in Hindi. I didn't understand. I panicked. I just did this. the guy responded like,
That's
It's like so much funnier live.
No, I know. I mean, I was laughing when I was watching it, but yeah, I know it is very weird to watch it this way. But no, it's good. It's good. Yeah. You don't have to cry. It was good. I promise. But I actually wanted to talk to you since you mentioned going to India. Where is your family? And you said that you're taken for, people mistake you for Indian. Where is your family from? And what's your background? And same thing.
Actually, funny enough, my parents from Yemen, and actually, funny enough, the Ethiopian Jew at one point, I forgot to mention this during the interrogation. The Ethiopian Jew was like, "You don't understand. Israel is not racist. I'm black. You're black. We're both very safe in Israel." And I was like, "All right, cool. That's what's up." And no, I get Indian, black, or like East African and all that. But yeah, my parents from Yemen. Yeah.
Okay. And have you been to Yemen?
Yeah, last time I went was in 2013. I went to Yemen, and I plan on going back soon, like for a visit. Obviously. Yeah, I might do some comedy there. I think they just opened up like a Houthi Ha-Ha's comedy club. But I do plan on going there, visit some family. It will be a blast. No, my family's there. It's obviously a beautiful country. There's like a lot of let's say conflicts, I guess that's the best way, some hurdles that they need to go through, but I'm excited to go back and visit.
A lot of bravery, though, as Norman Finkelstein loves the Houthis. Ansar Allah, he loves them. Yeah, we talked about them. What is it? Duty response. What is the thing that he does? RP, responsibility to protect. RTP, responsibility to protect. He basically says that was like a big phrase, I guess, in the 90s, and he's like the only people doing that. He probably would say Iran also now, but I think before he would have said the only people doing that were Houthis. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To stick up for us.
We love our Yemeni brothers and sisters.
Yeah, seriously, yeah. And what about you, Dana? You're muted. Sorry.
I'm a mixture. So I'm born in Canada. My mom's British, but she's mixed race. Her mother's Irish English. My dad's Jamaican. My mom's dad is Guyanese, and his grandfather was from Pakistan.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's
Canadian.
Yeah. Canadian, right. You sound like, I was gonna say, you sound like a New Yorker. Yeah.
Really? Okay. There you go.
I mean, that sounds like a very New Yorker. I mean, it's where in Canada are you from? Like,
I'm originally from Edmonton, Alberta, but I lived in Vancouver, Toronto, but now I make my home in London.
Oh, okay, nice, awesome.
Yeah,
I do love London. And wanted to. I almost don't want to show this, but I feel like it's important to talk about because one of the things that is so ironic about comedy is that it can be so disarming and so revealing, and it can do you can really be indicting of things. Like you through humor can really be scathing about Israel. But then every now and then, like people through comedy tell on themselves. And I want to share this. It's really disturbing, but I just wanted to show people just an example of some Israeli comedy. This is
I already know.
You do? Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Well, so yeah, this is an Israeli comedian who literally thought it would be funny to make jokes about the horrific dog rapes that were documented in that were
by the New York Times.
Yeah, by the New York Times, right? Of course, it had to be in an op-ed. They couldn't make it reported. So this is it's just funny that this is not considered dangerous, right? So your guys' comedy is considered dangerous.
We're talking about Ari, right?
Yeah,
Elon. Sorry, Elon. Elon.
No, Reshef Levy. I think his name is Reshef.
Oh, that's not okay. Because there was an Elon Gold joke about that too. But yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're very prolific. They love
it,
that. They love the dog rape jokes. It's a great bit. So this is Israeli comedian Reshef Levy from January 2025, making obviously some horrific jokes about the rape and abduction of Palestinian detainees. And this is what happens when he finds out an audience member was a prison guard.
Where do you serve? I was in the Navy, and they had me guarding terrorists.
This is, by the way, we have it dubbed so that we don't have to, so I don't have to translate it.
Where do you serve? I was in the Navy, and they had me guarding terrorists.
And you are the guy with the iPhone that was shoved right up the terrorist's butt. Were you actually involved in that whole incident? You are the one who filmed it. He is the Ashkenazi fellow who filmed it. It is really not right what you are doing here, guys. Yalla, go away. You were actually guarding the terrorists. Is it true they are kept blindfolded, sitting on the yard floor for the entire day?
Not these ones.
But not all of them, so there are ripe and unripe nakhba. How does that even work? How do you go about sorting them out, who is ripe or unripe? And how do you decide who gets forced down onto their knees?
We have cut through much worse things.
Suddenly you're revealing things here that would basically land you in The Hague or on a list. Even ahead of Bibi Netanyahu and Gallant, they'll shout, arrest him first, leave Bibi alone, arrest this guy. How can you justify punishing them so differently when they have committed the exact same acts?
Don't give out any information.
Who said that? Do not provide information.
I did.
It was you. Why would you do that? Are you acting as his personal lawyer now? Did you come here specifically to sabotage the entire show?
If he won't talk, how are we supposed to have fun? We'll get the info and enjoy ourselves. No need to stop him. He'll face trouble later, I'm sure.
But he's in the audience and no one knew? No, there's no one here. Is there someone here who is... I honestly don't even know how to put this into words. Traitors. Are there actual traitors to this country right here? There are people who have done... What? And what do you say? You are sitting in the dark. What is the absolute worst thing you've done to them? Come on now, come on. Make us blush just a little bit.
I exercise my right to remain silent.
That is really quite nice. I love it.
That is wonderful. The entire audience, those guilty of crimes against humanity, are all applauding. Wonderful.
What else? And they regret it and say, oh, no, I've seen enough. We need to move on to other things. Do they apologize or something? What do I think? I don't know what you did. If his mouth is sealed and he can't speak, then he can just go, I don't know what you did. Do they also choose, like, can you only with a broomstick? They're like asking.
I mean, it's unreal, basically. But
it's not funny.
No, it's not funny at all. That's the other thing. It's not funny. Yeah.
It wasn't a single punchline.
Right. Yeah.
I gotta say that I kind of like when they do that.
It's like, useful.
Tell on yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead and nonchalantly doing that. Like he was up there, almost like talking as if he was like sarcastically like, yeah, that's what you do. Like, but that's how it is. It's that it's so normalized, right? That it's like, yeah, of course we're gonna laugh about this. This is hilarious. Everybody knows this is hilarious. The only sane person in that was one who was like, don't say anymore.
Right.
Because she understood that, like, oh, we're snitching on ourselves. And that's snitching on yourself, even more, just saying stop. So it's I'm more of that. Tell on yourselves, guys, please.
It wasn't even a comedy show. It was just like it was like a conversation. It was like a live podcast.
Yeah. That's he was curious. He was genuinely curious.
Yeah. It was just like he was like genuine, like a big fan, like, oh yeah, like, so what kind of shit do we do? You know what I mean? It reminds me of like one time I saw like a clip of like this he was like a New York comic, but you could tell he was like pro-Israel. And then he was like to one of the guys, he was like, oh, you're Jewish? And then he was like, yeah, man, when is our next hack on these terrorists? And then he was like, yo, we say that privately. We say that off stage. Like they know what they're doing. They just don't care anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys about that, how you've experienced this as comedians. I mean, especially, all of you really, but how have you experienced, have you been outspoken as comedians? And have you, obviously you paid a price by just trying to go to this festival, but have you also faced like pressure, smears, cancellation attempts? For being for even being Palestinian, I mean, as it's to start, yeah.
I've been vocally outspoken for a while, and even now, after I posted just that I was deported with the other comedians, I've had casting directors or former people saying that they're going to blacklist me from Hollywood. I've had people saying cancel this terrorist supporter. I've been harassed online excessively. I think somebody said that like they post my posts in like the Act IL app, like it goes into the so they can put pro-Israel bots on it, and so I'll get like I had to block 300 people like last week.
Oh my God.
So like yeah, they definitely like glom on, and then they harass, and then obviously they do it with their faces. Like the woman that threatened to happily blacklist me was also like, you know, doing it with her whole face, her whole.
Oh, should we show her?
Everything.
We don't want to do that now. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'll send it to you offline. But
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, it was like, hey, at least say it openly, like Bilal. Like I'm glad when they show their faces and they're not just bots, you know.
Yeah, I for some of the posts, I think that I have, it's like over 1,000-ish comments. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, bots or whatever. I even like before the festival, I posted a joke about Islamophobia, and like it had over 900 comments just on Facebook. You know, and it was just like, yeah, bots, memes, all this crap. But like, I personally I try not to even look at the comments. You know. I even, for some odd reason, I have people who are fans of me, even though they don't agree with my politics, but they're still just fans of my comedy, which is odd. I mean, I guess, I don't know, but for the most part, like, I mean, it's not going to stop me from being outspoken. And also the way the industry is shifting, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to say the agency, but there's one agency which is like a pretty big one in LA, or just in the Hollywood industry. And my friend was telling me, he was like, basically the younger generation, like the people are like pro-Palestinians, but it's usually the older generation of agents. Those are like hardcore pro-Israel. So even like within I mean, you could even see it with actors and comedians now, where it's just like, there's just like pull. So it's like, if you're outspoken of whatever, honestly, as lame as it is, but like you could be pro-Israel and you'll find your audience, you know. But as ridiculous as that sounds, but it's like, yeah, I think it's just whatever you believe in, be as your authentic self, and 100% go forward.
Yeah. What about you guys? Yeah.
Yeah, I think you know, just being Palestinian in of itself is a political statement. Whether I wanted to or not, I was born an activist, you know. Sometimes it's so just that in of itself is like, I have to address it, you know, like it comes up, right? And so you know, but I'm extremely proud of who I am. I love who I am. I wouldn't change it for the world. Palestinians are the strongest, coolest, bravest you know, people in the world. But yeah, it comes up. I'm an actor. You know, I'm in Hollywood. I audition for stuff, and you know, it's always in the back of my mind. You know, you never know.
Right.
So just that has to be in the back of my mind is a shame in of itself. So.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Dana?
So I guess I was always pretty vocal, because I guess when all of the reporting started coming out about like the 40 beheaded, you know, and all of that, and it just didn't make any sense to me. And it didn't make any sense. Well, first of all, there was no evidence. There were no victims, you know. So I got blocked by about maybe 9 of my colleagues, because they can't, once you kind of learn a little bit more. And I did a few Palestine. I did a couple of fundraisers for the Israelis Against Demolition of Housing Commission, and that's actually run by an Israeli Jewish comic, human rights lawyer, actually, Daphna. And so we always did these shows, and half of the shows were Jewish comics. So I never made the equation, but I remember having one colleague say to me, "Oh, I'll never bring you around my kids again." I'm like, "You and your 6 children, please don't." That was a courtesy. Do you know what I mean? But Yeah, and they had a little WhatsApp group trying to like intimidate all the people that they felt, are anti-Semitic. But it's just the same nonsense. Just
It's funny because Ahmed.
No, just like to piggyback what Dana was saying. It's just like you said, like similar to interrogation, what they're doing now is a lot of it is psychological warfare, which is like they're trying so hard to treat this mentality or even scare you to be like you have to love Israel and you have to like a lot of, for lack of a better word, a lot of like young Zionists, like how they indoctrinate you is they sit there and they go, this is your homeland. You love Israel. Everything you do is for Israel, right? And they just kind of like keep saying that. And then now you have all these people like they're trying to do the same things with these young adults that see what's going on, see the actual crimes, and they're just like scared. That's why they're spending millions of dollars against Zoran Mamdani, but against Abdullah Sayed, right? To the point where $23 million of the PAC money was straight for Islamophobia. So it's like now all their talking points is terrorism. He's anti-Semitic. What's the new Sharia law? He's going to enact Sharia law, all this stuff. They hate America, and which is why we're still winning, because it's just sheer, like they can't attack they're both of them that won. They can't attack their policies. They can't attack what they're trying to shoot for. They just go for straight identity. And most people like Dana and other non-Arabs are just like, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? I think like a turning point was, especially during Zoran's debates, which is like, they're like, wait, you don't want to go to Israel? I mean, a random New Yorker was like, what the fuck is Israel? You know what I mean? Like, they don't care, So it's like, so all this like fear-based, like you're going to be on this list, I work with comedians who are now on like the anti-Semitic list or like the blackmail. Like it's all this, they're all scare tactics. Yeah, it's all scare tactics to try to get you to be afraid of speaking out, but it's like it's not working anymore, and they're scared, and that's why they're spending $700 million on creators to spread anti-Muslim propaganda.
Right. Yeah.
I have this joke. I say that as a Palestinian, we're on all the lists except the Epstein list, and I think I start from there, and anything I say, that's why people are like, oh my God, you're so bold. You say such bold things. I'm like, is it though? Is it really bold in 2026 to say some of these things? But that's what we're trying to like break through. It's like, hey, we're ambassadors of our people, and we want people to know that not only have they dehumanized the crap out of us, that we're even having to have these conversations to defend our existence as just humans, but also that like if we speak, we're attacked by these bots, there is literally forces that are doing that against us and against anybody who speaks out for Palestinians. And I think that alone, people feeling that force and feeling all the, like just the investment they're putting in is also helping people understand what's at stake. Cause they're like, well, the Palestinians aren't really putting money in, they keep saying we're spreading propaganda, but it's just like me and Bilal telling jokes, We're doing our best to be the best ambassadors we can for our people.
And what's beautiful is like now you're seeing, I mean, I could speak for Bilal and Lana, like we've like, and we're in the Arab communities and Muslim communities, like, I'm Yemeni, but like we've been I've known about Palestine since I was a kid, you know what I mean? So it is kind of crazy where now it's like, you'll see like an Israeli propaganda video and it's stitched to like a Jewish person or a white person or like a black person just being like debunking this propaganda. And that's beautiful because it's like for a long time, it was just like a few people.
We got white people now.
But now we got white people on our side. I mean, for real, like we got white people on our side that are like speaking out. I mean, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And now like the only argument
and black people, sure. I think but I think the point is like the whites are like the last ones you right? Like
yeah, for sure. For sure. But
they're still figuring it out too,
Yeah. Well, for sure it's like now it's like this push and pull of like the fight between like like even in the gay community, you have pink washing, and then you have like pro-Palestinian trans people, pro-Palestinian gay people. It's like right now it's a big push and pull. The Israelis are obviously AIPAC. They're very scared because Zoran won, Abdullah Sayed, and there's 1,000 more of them that's coming up who are like coming out being like, I do not want to give our money to AIPAC, you know? So I see a little, I've told my friends this. It's like the good news is people are waking up. The bad news, it's a little too late and we have a lot of repairing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what always happens is you have the change in public opinion, and then that is not reflected in policy. And it's really infuriating. And it's heartbreaking. And then I always have to just remember, like, we can't be complacent, but we can't get totally discouraged because we just know that the policy doesn't happen with that other stuff that's happened, right? Like, again, we have to be pushing and fighting, but we still have to be like, take stock and be clear-eyed about, you know, what we have achieved, not to stop, but just so that we don't get, because I think sometimes it's easy to just get so discouraged. And I always feel like it's like kind of the least like people can do who aren't in Gaza or aren't in Palestine is to like not lose the hope. It's like just adds, I feel like it's like the least we can do, because we can't really do anything. I mean, anger is good. It is a motor also. Anger, I feel like hope and anger are a good combination. But I think some people will get numb, and we can't let that happen.
Well,
no,
you know,
not at all. Yeah, go ahead.
We have a little thing called the truth on our side.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, I think one of these days that puppy will get set free and people will like him and they'll pet him and they'll want to adopt him.
Yeah.
And you know, the truth is ultimately what we're trying to get out there, right? Yeah. You know, and so.
And we do have that on our side, like you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, when we have the truth on our side, I feel very confident, and hope never, you know, subsides. And it's been my whole life, you know.
Yeah.
So it'll be probably years more, but like one day it'll happen.
One thing my dad always, may he rest in peace, but my dad was growing up was very proactive in the Muslim community, obviously pro-Palestine. My dad was personally friends with the HLF, Holy Land 5.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in Dallas. So like my dad co-founded Muslim Legal Fund of America. So like we were always he was always very active in, you know, Muslim and Arab communities. And like one thing he always like told us, instilled in us growing up, it was like, remember, like when you like you know, when you go out in the real world, especially now when I travel the country, I'm in a random bar show in Wisconsin or whatever, it's like I am representing Muslims, I'm representing Arabs. Well, now I mean, based on that I look like, they probably think I'm a gay Indian, but like still, like I get on stage and
thank you too.
Yeah, and I have to be like the best version of myself, because it's like when they go out and they meet another Muslim, or when they talk to someone, they say Muslim, they go, oh, I saw that Muslim comedian. He was very funny and he was very kind to everyone after the show. It's like it's like what Bilal said, it's like us being on stage, no matter what we're talking about, is a political statement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And basically that, like I said, we're ambassadors of our people, but we want to make sure that it's very clear. What happened to us is like a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage and fraction of what happens to Palestinians daily, their limitation on movement. We were limited from entering, but we had to also perform shows in different cities that were not even like 20 miles apart because of the limitation on movement of the Palestinians. So this was our, you know, for us, this is important for us to let everybody know that we're American citizens, Canadian citizens. Look how they treated us. Look what they did to us. And we're not criminals.
Right. Yeah.
And imagine what they do to everybody else there.
Right.
And another thing too is, this is kind of the scariest part about it to me, is when we were detained, you know, my family couldn't get a hold of me. I let them know what was happening. So they started calling the U.S. Embassy. And they were letting the U.S. Embassy know, like, hey, my brother, he's an American citizen. My son, he's an American citizen. He's being detained. They took his phone, and we can't get a hold of him. We don't know if he's okay. So can we figure something out? And the U.S. Embassy told my family that Israel has a right to defend itself.
Shut up.
but that Israel has a right to defend itself. And after like 3 or 4 calls, they stopped answering their calls.
Like by blocking, by like
forwarding it straight to voicemail.
But like when they have the right to defend itself, so they can like do whatever
against
they want
against comedians.
Like, they have exactly. They have a right to defend itself from whatever they see
Israel's
fit.
right to defend itself against comedians. Yeah, Israel's right to self-defense against comedians.
Against punchlines.
So that's kind of what is the scariest part for me, is because as an American citizen, you think you have all these rights, you think you have. You think they're gonna have your back if something goes down, but they don't give two shit.
Yeah, we had Kamel Musalat on a few weeks ago. His son Saifullah was 20 years old and killed. They're Palestinian-Americans, like they're American citizens, right? And like just killed trying to protect his own land, left to die over the course of a few hours. I mean, I was actually, the thing that shocked me was that Mike Huckabee actually said it was an act of terrorism, which shocked me. But he still, but he also didn't do anything about it. Like they didn't investigate or anything. So I mean,
we're used to that. We're used to them getting to a point where the PR is so bad they give lip service, and then you know that's like, okay, well, but ultimately, like we even see now. I think I saw it yesterday in the news. An American citizen left here to go to defend his house in Qusra in Palestine, and he went and put up an American flag there, and he's basically there to defend his home.
Yeah.
And I think as Americans, we understand that concept of you defend your home, but when it comes to Palestinians, it's like, why would they? What's happening? So I just don't. It's a weird disconnect of like Americans, we defend our home till the death, and Palestinians being robbed and stolen and killed out of their homes. So, you know, that's what we're trying to bring light to as well.
Yeah. We're going to have someone on Friday to talk about that story, by the way.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
good. I mean, again, it's like there's right now so much there's so much money being put into like anti-Islamic rhetoric, because for years they're trying to push, like while they're pushing that all Palestinians are Muslims, they're trying to make that. They pushed out earlier this year, they pushed out the last Palestinian Christian village. You know, there are literally, I'm friends with Palestinians. I have a friend from Nablus, and he was telling me that he grew up with a Palestinian Jew. You know, there's obviously, they're very scarce right now, obviously, but it's like, he was trying to tell me, it's like, it is not about religion.
No.
Not about, you know, but now even recently, like I just got a message now of just being like, you know, well, you Muslims are always this, Muslims are always that, you know, immigrant Muslim from Muslim countries like Somalians or Afghans, they're always, and Palestinian immigrants, they're always making crime. And it's like, they just like, look at them doing the crime.
Not true anyway, but
no, it's not.
But they're saying I don't understand, like this, obviously it's like, they'll send you, like I get sent like these studies.
Right.
And it's like, where are you getting these studies? Who's funding this study?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like all this false accusations, because it's
the
like
same people who are saying Miss Rachel's an anti-Semite.
Yeah, right.
They're pushing this like anti-Islamic rhetoric, and then it's like when you try to explain, they just go again with the excuses.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, so it's gonna take a while. I am very happy we have people like, you know, we have the Johns, the Michaels, the Katies, you know, like we're literally like understanding like this situation at play. But we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. And I also want to just say, like, I really appreciate how it is hard and takes bravery on your part. Like I have, I'm Jewish, but I come from like my family, my immediate family has the same politics as I do. And even I, like, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, are the people I went to school with, like, they must think I'm terrible and an anti-Semite. It's not like for a second I like think that they're right, but just the like pure, like that pressure of knowing you're judged, like it's real, even though you know that justice is on your side. It still is, like, you know, people are talking about you. And again, and my thing is like, I'm so, you know, I'm not Palestinian. And I'm not comparing being like an anti-Zionist Jew to that either. I'm just saying that even
it's hard though for anti-Zionist. We have anti-Zionist Jewish friends, and we love them and we support them, and we understand how they have to deal with their families.
I have so much respect for anti-Zionist Jews. So, like, utmost respect, because it's like y'all are the ones that have to go home and have these like incredibly tough tough conversations. You know what I
I'm
mean?
lucky because my parents are very cool. But yeah, I have extended family. But yeah, the ones who really have to have the tough conversations, that I do really admire them. You know what's interesting? I have an uncle who he blocked me on Facebook. He's like, Katie, I love you, but I have to block you. And he was like, and it wasn't because of what I was doing, because I barely go on Facebook, but like he would put something up on Facebook and then my friends would like fight with him in the comments. So then he wrote me an email and he was like, I think I'm basically with you on Israel. That was the subject. And then in the email message, it was like, I guess you're right, or hard left, lol, in parentheses, on Israel. And you know what helped change his mind was that he saw no other land. And all the like, but Hamas or October 7th talking points are just like blown out. They just don't apply, right? Because
can I tell you, I saw that in theaters, and in the theater, I watched a lot of movies. I've never been in a movie where everybody sat through the end, the credits, and there was complete silence.
Wow.
And it was like 10 minutes, nobody got up.
Wow.
I've never had that experience in a movie, ever.
Wow. Yeah. That is incredible. Yeah. I saw it at home and it was really effective. So I can't imagine what it would have been like in a theater. Yeah.
I mean,
please go out and see Palestinian movies, everybody.
Yes.
Palestine 36 just came out.
Palestine 36 just came out. Now the American Doctor,
American
I believe,
Doctor's
is coming out.
Yeah, I had a,
Support Watermelon Pictures.
Yes, definitely.
Support,
yes. Yeah, that was amazing. Well, Ahmed, I'm sure you have to go because it's like 1,000 o'clock p.m.
No, I'm chilling. I'm chilling. Dude, honestly, you got me going. I'm wide awake.
We've been running on adrenaline since they deported us. So
we really have. Yeah,
you guys should put together a fundraiser for like.
We've been talking about putting together like a show, doing something, you know, kind of about it and stuff.
Forbidden fruit or something. The forbidden.
Public safety concerns.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Safety,
public considerations.
By the way, jokes are illegal.
Illegally funny, dangerously funny. Here's the video, by the way, of the of Louis is his name. The person who, let's see, Brad, can you throw up that? Did you get it? It's Jeremy Diamond, who is the CNN journalist who went.
Oh, I did see that video.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So he's the one who went with Kamel to try to get to the house, his family's home. Kamel, the father of the 20-year-old who was killed, and this was like, and his cousin was imprisoned. They own an ice cream store in Tampa. And so now, luckily the cousin was released from prison. He was 14 or 15, I think, when he was locked up, and he lost tons of weight. And then he came out and he had to learn that his cousin had been killed, his 20-year-old cousin. So this is Jeremy Diamond. And here is a tweet. Here's a video he tweeted out. I was with Palestinian-American Louis Riddy tonight. When he made it to his home in Kusra, one of the first things he did was raise an American flag over his house. I'll have much more on this story soon. So we're going to talk about that, by the way, on Friday. So make sure you tune in, everyone. But here's you want to show this video? It's pretty amazing.
Can go wide a little bit. Go back. Go back.
Yeah. So
we'll
see. I'm gonna have him on because they're like under attack.
Qusra's been under attack. All the villages, there's a siege. They're having pogroms.
It is. It's totally pogroms. Yeah. Oh my God. Today I was like, okay. Wait, one thing. I do want to play that video, by the way, of that disgusting guy. Is his name Ari?
Is it Elon Gold?
Elon Gold.
With the
Skeletor.
I call her Skinwalker.
I don't even know who she is. She's just an influencer, but
she used to be on Real Housewives of New York. Her husband was a plastic surgeon. And they were both kicked off the show for using. I think the husband used the N-word.
Okay, well, she is actually kind of like a hidden. She's like a golden. Was it a silver? She's like amazing for anti-Zionist because she's kind of like Laura Loomer because she's hideous inside and out. So she just like represents that. So, okay, this clip. This is from the Tribeca Film Festival. I don't know what the hell she was there like doing there, but
she's like an influencer on the red carpet.
Exactly. So her name is Lizzie Savetsky and stand-up comedian Elon Gold. And here's the joke that they made. And remember, this was right after the dog rape stuff had been uncovered. So.
remember.
which is a very prestigious ball.
Really big deal.
It's a really big deal, and for a film made in Israel, that's pretty damn cool. I was only raped by 2 Israeli dogs.
I thought they only rape Palestinians.
No, I got also a dog.
So,
Again, first of all, it's just totally not funny. Like, even if they weren't evil people, there's just no. But like, it's just
more like Elon Bronze.
I think
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
I think when you become that genocidal, I think the humor becomes tainted, and they start to think that that type of stuff is funny, and the rest of us are not in that.
Yes.
Like,
well, that's what I always would say about. I remember like Dennis Miller. He became conservative and he stopped being funny because I really do think like to be funny, you have to kind of be empathetic and observe people and stuff. And then like I think he just turned into it like a mean old man and got really unfunny.
I'm not
Like Bill Maher, who was never.
Yes, Bill Maher. But I could go on and on about this. But John Marco Cerezi has a great take of how conservative comedy is just not. It's just not comedy. It's just bad. It's not. Yeah, from like it's lazy joke, right? And just in every aspect of it all. But it's like, yeah, they're just at this point with Elon Gold. Let's be honest, he hasn't had like a funny career, or like he was not very funny, and now he's just cashing in on all this pro-Israel stuff, you know. So it's like his audience are just people who are ready to just clap because they agree with everything he says.
They were running shows here in LA that called like I think they were called like Jews Cause Comedy, and they were going on for the last few years after October 7th, and it would just be a lot of pro-Israel like Zionist comedians. And one time I was at one of the clubs they did it at, like not the day of the show, but it was for a different show. And the bartender there was telling me how the jokes they were telling during that show, because he could hear them, he goes, they were just all really, really awful to Palestinians. And he wasn't even Palestinian. He was just like, wow, this is intense. So like we knew they were talking about us like that before that was caught on camera, because Elon was in those shows. Those are the comedians that are in those shows. Those are the ones that we have to kind of confront and be with, in clubs and in shows and too. So it's like if we ever joked about rape in that way, we would never be worked again.
Well, you would be like, you'd be hounded if like you made a comparable joke, like, and it isn't comparable because nothing like that happened. But if you made any joke about anything that happened on October 7th, like
we would never be allowed to perform.
Yeah. And Dana, I want to ask you, I mean, a lot of people I don't think are aware that Canada is really bad on this stuff too. Like last week I had on a doctor who is Dr. Kavita Ezlu. She is a palliative care doctor. She was like hounded she resigned, but because she was like investigated for workplace behavior because she like wrote a letter about genocide and about medicine. And then we also did a show about that Jesse Brown, that journalist from Canada Land, who's just like gone off the deep end and says like the reason there's an anti-Semitism crisis in Canada is because we've let in 3 times more Muslims. But it really is like, and I've had the amazing Samira Moyadeen, who's a great journalist. Yeah, she's great. She's Iranian Canadian in Toronto. But yeah, you guys are also like fighting the fight. There's like all these, attempts to shut down free speech and vilify people.
And London, well, I'm based in London, so that's
Yes.
So,
oh my God, like literally,
so we have elderly people getting arrested for supporting Palestine action.
Yeah, yeah, they're
hundreds
amazing.
of them. Hundreds of them.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, they're literally.
Saturday.
Oh, go ahead.
Every Saturday, and we have groups like Torah Judaism that come down because the marches are on Saturday, and even though these guys are just Shabbat, they walk down there because they can't. Yeah, these little old men they walk down there. So there's a big overrepresentation of Jewish people on these marches as well.
Yeah, we're working on a documentary, tentatively called Never Again. It's all about Holocaust survivors protesting the Gaza genocide. And so some of them, there are a few. There's this organization called Holocaust Survivors and Descendants Against Genocide, and they're always in the protests, in the demos, as I call them in London. They're amazing. And one of them, this guy who's the son of survivors, his parents weighed like 70 pounds when their camps were liberated. He said Israel won't be able to defeat Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis, and they arrested him for hate speech. He's like 80 years old, and they didn't give him his heart medication. He's from Israel. Like, he's left a long time ago, but it's just, they don't even know how to pretend be doing it.
You know, Israel's afraid of babies, senior citizens, women, children, jokes,
journalists,
truth, journalists,
doctors,
nurses. Like, there's nothing they're not afraid of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the evidence is all there. I mean, and that's why, like, they're, like I said, they're running scared. It's Muslims in America. We're only like 1% of the population.
Yeah.
And we're working, there's comedians, there's politicians, like we're assimilating. You know what I mean? Like,
and we
but they don't,
when they deported us. We knew when they deported us, we're like, are they really this far gone? Like, is this really happening? All of us? Like, it was really an indication of like just how thin-skinned and scared.
Yeah. Right. Like that, but it is such a perfect example. They literally can't take being mocked. Like, that's what they're afraid of.
Oh yeah, and then now you could see it that the talking points are all the same. Like right now, the new talking points is that there is no genocide. In fact,
it's
that
anti-Semitic to say it. Have you heard
it's
that
anti-Semitic.
one?
That one, it's anti-Semitic, and in fact, it's the Jews who are right now being genocided.
Right. Like that journalist said to Oliver Larkin. Yeah.
Right, that one. Oh, she deleted her Instagram.
I mean, she was just dropping lies, like even when she's like, well, what the UN said. It's like, no, they didn't even say that. Like, it was beyond the usual lies. It was like oddly specific lies.
Well, that's
what they be training. Yeah.
It's intense. It's intense, intense gaslighting that they're trying to do. And it's, go ahead.
The Hasbro is the worst it's ever been. And they're panicking.
Yeah.
They're throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they're just trying all sorts of new tactics. This week it's this one. If this works, we're going to stick with it. Next week we'll get a new one. And so that's kind of, you know, we're in the internet age where everything is so readily available to you. The truth is out there if you want to find it, and it's easier to find than ever before. And they don't know how to deal with that. And so that's why, you know, 4 years ago when we did this festival, we got in, right? But that was when the Hasbro was kind of still holding strong. Now times have changed, buddy.
Right.
There's a new sheriff in town.
That's a good way. Yeah. Right. It shows that. Yeah.
And so now they don't know
they're
what
losing.
to do.
They're losing. Right. So they have to ban, deport comedians.
Exactly. So it's just
and
really
kill
again,
journalists.
telling on yourself.
Oh, kill journalists, kill doctors, and nurses, and bomb ambulances so that they can't save the people that they're killing. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, and they're and you know, pushing so much money into like these different influencers, paying them so much, pushing them, like saying all these also different clips. Like now people will send me clips to try to like prove their point, and they're like, look, there's this restaurant that just opened in Gaza. I'm like, oh, you got me.
Yeah,
I think the moral of this is that
nuance. Go ahead.
I think the moral is that not only is like art important, because obviously look what happened to us, but just like it's working, everything chips away. We keep chipping away at it, even little by little, and that's what the collective effort is. And we just want everybody to see, like, if our jokes got us to this here, then imagine like what you're posting and what you're saying. All of it chips away and might change one person's mind.
Right. Yeah.
So that's what we got to keep doing.
I heard a dog. Is that yours, Lana?
That's my doggy. Yeah, he's guarding the home very clearly.
Oh, let me see. Wait, I gotta take a screenshot. Oh my God, is that what is that?
He's a multi-poo. He's a multi-poo mixed with a bunch of other breeds. Say hello, Coco Daddy. So
he's so cute. Bucky is my dog is a Maltese Shih Tzu.
Everybody thinks he's Shih Tzu because he has the underbite.
Yeah.
Oh
he's
got the
Bucky has malocclusion level 3. I have to have his kafia. He has a kafia, so I have to find the kafia photo.
I need to get one for my baby.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah. There's
scare the neighbors with it.
Seriously, right? Yeah. No, we have to sew it into his. My parents have other dogs, and the kafia. It's like it doesn't tie. It's the one that goes around the collar. She has like a harness, like Bodhi. Someone has to sew it to it anyway.
Yeah, we get you a little kafia.
So cute. Well, you guys, this has been great, and you guys should definitely come back on. Any things you want to say?
If you live in Los Angeles, I'm doing a special taping December 11th, and before I release it, Katie, I would love to come back and promote it.
Yeah, cool, sure, yeah, do it. Only if you do like a sketch where you like ask me questions about being white or whatever. My hair.
You got it. I got
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Katie, thank you for everything you do.
Of course.
Honestly.
Thanks.
Thank you. Big fan as well.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah. You guys should come on. Like we can have one-on-ones,
And everybody watching, thank you for the support too. This is the only way that my people ever be free. So it takes a village. Follow me on Instagram, Well-Fed Comic.
And you're in LA also?
I am in LA.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you're in LA, Lana.
Okay. If you message me and tell me you're a Katie Halper fan, you get free tickets.
Yeah. And I'm also like, this is the most important thing is to keep talking about Palestine. We're never going to stop. And you can follow me on my socials at the Lana Salah. You can find them on my website, lanasalah.com. And if you're in LA, I produce a free show. Come on out. We bring a lot of great comedians. It's in Culver City, a Bigfoot comedy show. And Katie, I just want to thank you so much because not only did you respond so quickly and for just all the work that you do, but like I said, we understand how much work it goes into just being an anti-Zionist Jew and being for the truth for us. So we appreciate you for that. So thank you so much.
Very outspoken.
Thank you.
And honestly, like I have high admiration for anti-Zionist Jews because I believe like most people would listen to you guys rather than
that's the thing. That's
folks.
Yeah, it's like it's an uncomfortable thing because it's fucked up, but it's like I'm gonna use like knowing that that's how the world works. Obviously, you have to use that. That's why some people are like, don't say as a Jew this, as a Jew that. I'm like, no, because first of all, if the only people say as a Jew are defending Israel, that's not good for Palestinians. It's also not good for people
or Jews.
Well, 100%. That is the biggest irony is that the Jewish safety thing. I'm like, are you kidding me, guys? Like, come on. Like, you honestly think it's in the interest of Jewish safety to have all Jews supporting Israel, or like Jews suggesting that we all support Israel? Like, that is not a good look.
Whatever happened to diversify? Like,
yeah, but it really is unreal though. But that's why I always will do it. And it's so funny because like they get so angry, the Zionists, when we say as a Jew. They don't even realize what they're revealing because they're like that guy, that idiot guy named something Plattner or something.
Jonah Platt.
Yeah, Jonah Platt. Thank you. Yeah, Plattner. Jonah Platt. The Jewish lobsterman, Jonah Plattner. No, Jonah Platt. He is like, I have a show about Jewish this, that, whatever. I've been to, and I've never said as a Jew. I'm like, yeah, exactly, because you guys are used to having the monopoly. When you speak, you claim to speak for all Jews. So you don't ever have to say that because someone's like Zionist this. Okay, they're Jewish, they're whatever. We have to say that to show the world that no, you don't get to say that that as a Jew, you're the only Jew out there, I saw this article in Haaretz when I was reading the article about you guys. It was a woman who was just like, it's almost worse than a total genocide fan. She's an artist, and she was like, "This is not like this isn't the same. What's happening now isn't like what happened during the Holocaust." Because she's doing like an art project on her grandfather who survived this concentration camp, and she was like, "It's And I say that I'm ashamed of what's happening, but it's not the same as the Holocaust." And I say that as someone who's really studied like when people plan hell. It's like, you don't think this is planned hell? Like, you don't have to be putting people in gas ovens for it to be like a never again thing. You know what I mean? Like you don't like the whole point of never again isn't to say, well, they weren't put in crematoria. So as long as they're not doing the same thing for like, she literally said, sorry, I'm getting so angry. I read this article. She's like, I really want to look in the mirror so that that insanity of the Holocaust means never happens again. It's like, okay, so you're cool with what's happening now. Like that's not a violation of never again. Like, just shut you're worse than the people who don't even have a problem with what's happening now. And Dana, tell us about you and your gigs and where we can find out more about what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'll be in Windsor this weekend for the Fuzzy Bear, and then I'll probably pick up some spots at Top Secret Comedy Club in London, either Kingsway or Drury. Then I'll be in Sweden and Thailand and Vietnam next month.
Wow. Look out for the Israelis. They always go to like Thailand, I think.
Yeah, we should run a poll and
tell you a story.
Oh God, yeah.
We should run a poll and see if Israel will give us visas again.
You should what?
We should run a poll to see if Israel will give us visas.
Yeah, seriously, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you guys so much. This is a great show. I really had fun talking to you guys, and yeah, seriously, come back on and let me know if you're in New York City.
Thanks for having us.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll reach out.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for coming on,
Thank
guys.
you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
That was great. I haven't done a show like that in a while. I don't think I've ever done a show with so many comedians at once. I've definitely had comedians on, but they were great. That was very inspiring. So we have some sad news, by the way, which is that Moskowitz won and beat Oliver Larkin in Florida in that primary. We got obviously Debbie Wasserman Schultz beating Elijah in Florida also, but Angie Dixon in Florida won her primary. So that is great. So congrats to Angie Dixon. And as someone pointed out, it's not something, as Bernie would say, it's nothing to sneeze at. It's not something to sneeze at how well Larkin did and Elijah did in the districts they were running in Florida. Like the fact that they did as well as they did do is very impressive, because this is like, Elijah Manley and Oliver Larkin. Yeah. I
just saw this earlier today, Katie. I'm not sure if you saw this, and I believe it was Oliver Larkin on a local news spot in Florida where
actually it's funny you say that, Brad, because let me just show you something that we did. We did collaborate on this clip. I don't exactly know what that means, but let me just show people this. What am I looking at? Useful idiots.
Like this I think.
Don't say.
Just stop talking.
Yeah, please. Hold on. This is Oliver Larkin. Okay. This is what so we have this great show on Useful Idiots. And so he unfortunately just lost his race, but not for lack of effort and turnout and amazing work.
Yeah, this.
Other way. You pointed the wrong direction. No, other way.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm looking right at it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So we have this really fun show on Useful Idiots that's called Monday Morning, where we watch the Sunday morning news shows so that you don't have to. And it's spelled MOURNING. So what was really cool is I actually don't want to, maybe I'll just play this clip. Let's just play this clip. Okay. Watch this. I'm not going to say anything else. Let's just watch this. But this is the clip he was talking about. Okay.
Israel is committing a genocide.
Oh, wait, I have it on. I was mute YouTube, so I don't hear it. Okay, so this is Oliver Larkin. This is from Sunday.
Israel is committing a genocide in
That's
Gaza.
incorrect. That is factually incorrect.
It has been
That's
regarded
propaganda.
by the United Nations and Amnesty International and even Israeli human rights organizations, including B'Tselem. There's
The
a number
definition of genocide in the UN has said this, does not apply to what many people might think as a disproportionate wartime action.
Oh, she's being so generous. She's like, oh, well, yeah, maybe it's a disproportionate wartime action, but it's not genocide. And she's either, this is always the challenge with these people, lying through her teeth or totally ignorant about the definition of genocide.
And the key thing here is she just made an absolutely false statement. Like, whatever, like people have their opinion on genocide, whatever. She said the UN has said the genocide label does not apply. That's just not true. She just made that up. Like, that's false. And in fact, the one UN panel that looked at this did say actually there's a case for genocide.
So I'm going to say that she was lying through her teeth, Katie. She was
Wait,
not.
Wait, what are you doing? Brad, you can't take it off the screen. We're watching that. You can comment if you want to comment, then you can pause it. Like
no, I can't. Well, I can't.
That's why. Well, then you have. Oh, it's the roles have reversed. All right. Well, you're gonna have to raise your hand. Okay.
Okay.
You said she's lying through her teeth, but let's keep watching. Okay.
Her saying that the UN has ruled it out is just totally.
Yeah.
It's completely,
where does that even come from?
Yeah, it's totally fake.
And that's just a fact.
I mean, the United Nations recently in Geneva found that the IDF had deliberately targeted women and children. There's been famine conditions imposed over the Gaza Strip by the blockading of aid entering the Strip. There's been indiscriminate bombing of hospitals, of mosques, of churches.
Again, I'm going to have to stop you as that is factually not correct. I'm being told we have to wrap.
Wow. Well, we are so lucky because we have with us none other than Oliver Larkin, and he's here precisely to flesh this out a little bit more because it was so unfortunate. What bad timing that they ran out of time right after she dropped a few lies, right after he was about to drop more truth bombs. So welcome to the show, Oliver.
Thanks for having me back on, Katie. Great to see you, Aaron.
Of course.
It's been a crazy couple of days.
Yeah. So please, we want to give you the mic since it was taken away from you mid discussion, basically.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we hear terms,
and I wasn't referring obviously to you, Brad, because at that point you hadn't silenced him yet. That was the journalist.
Bandied around like disproportionate wartime actions. I mean, there's a very specific reason that we use terms like genocide and like apartheid that have internationally agreed upon definitions. There's specificity that we're talking about. And I think this kind of evasive, elusive, trying to cast it as a difference of opinion. This is not me saying that, like, I looked on TikTok one day and I was like, that looks like a genocide to me. I mean, there's source material, there's studies that have been commissioned by virtually every international body that has studied the issue. There's virtual unanimity here. And I think it's just a matter that we don't really hear on corporate or mainstream media, local media, like the television show I appeared on yesterday. These facts are not presented with the same equal weight as the kind of Zionist propaganda that, again, it's projection, unfortunately, as is so often the case when it comes to just speaking truth to power about the material reality of what's happening in Gaza.
Right. I'm sure she's going to have on Jewish Holocaust scholars, Omar Bertoff or Ross Siegel, to make the case, since she cares so much about Jewish voices.
Yeah, I mean, this is a position that we're seeing come up in congressional races all across the country. Voters, including here in South Florida, and this is a very heavily represented Jewish district. It's the second most Jewish district in the country. And the actions of AIPAC, the unconditional military support for Israel, is wholly unpopular within a Democratic primary electorate, within a general election electorate. This is not a position that the American people support, because if you're Jewish, you still got to pay your rent, you still got to pay your property insurance, you still have to get by in this economy with a cost of living crisis where you see your taxpayer dollars going to.
Anyway, so we can link to that clip, but that was great to have him on. And we should do probably a show where we debrief all the people who've lost, and we kind of like explain what happened and how why we shouldn't give up hope, because we have had some losses on the Katie Halper Show, and we don't want people to think that the big elephant in the room of the Katie Halper Show bump. We're aware that it doesn't always work, but it is powerful. It's mighty. So Kai Newkirk lost, but he got him really late. Who knows what, I mean, it's hard to look at these races. There's so much money on the other side, but I'm very proud that we had Oliver on this show. We had him on Useful Idiots. Yeah. I think that's all there is to say about that, but this was a great show. Thank you so much for coming. I don't think we're going to Patreon anything, right?
No. I think that we can just leave all this public this week.
Yeah, but we're going to have to do some Patreon for this week.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. Okay. We have some Patreon for you from last week. That's very good. So make sure you get that. And what else? I think that's about it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Phantom Fountain, for the clip. Thanks, Nate, for the research. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to the great guest. Thank you, Nick. We could make some of the Nick Patreon. This may apply. If you're watching, because we didn't do Friday. If you're watching this live, you're so unlucky. You got to see that whole thing. But if you're watching this later and you want to see the full interview with Nick, about Epstein, about Israel, you can do that at patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. Again, that's patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. Patreon.com/The Katie Halper Show. That's with Nick Bryant. And we will see you on Friday, and then we will see you next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.
I did everything right, and they indicted me. And I don't know what the I'm doing. Antifa!